Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight, for the first time since the primary results, the two candidates in the race for Lincoln's mayor met face-to-face. We'll hear from both of them on multiple issues.
Plus, Congressman Mike Flood is passionate about getting the post office in downtown Lincoln moved to a new spot.
But first tonight, a controversial bill in the legislature advances to the third round of debate. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Senators began the second round of debate on LB 574, the Let Them Grow Act.
It would ban gender-affirming health care for minors here in Nebraska. Channel 8's Matthew Midlighter is live at the Capitol with the latest. Matthew.
The debate lasted until this afternoon when senators voted on LB 574. Just before the vote, Senator Megan Hunt withdrew her 3 motions on it, which allowed for an amendment to move forward. That amendment would have narrowed the bill to just prohibit gender-affirming surgeries. This caused some confusion among the legislators, as they then had to vote on the amendment before the bill itself. That amendment ultimately did not pass. When it came time to vote on the bill, the final result was 33 for and 16 against. The bill will now move forward to the last round of debate. Senator Kathleen Kauth, who introduced the bill, said after the vote that she thinks it will pass.
I'm pleased that it's moving forward. I'm pleased that we're going to get a chance to tweak it a little bit, see what happens to it. It's been a very long process. We could have been doing this much sooner. I think it's really great that we are at the point where there are people who are going to be willing to sit down and talk.
Those who oppose the bill say it will make Nebraska a less welcoming place for people to live, and that it will hurt the state's LGBTQ kids. Senator Michaela Cavanaugh, who filibustered for weeks in an attempt to slow the session and prevent the bill's passing, got emotional before the vote and said that she will continue to fight for LGBTQ youth. I'll have much more on this at 6 tonight. Reporting live at the Capitol, this is Matthew Midlighter, Channel 8 News.
All right, Matthew, we'll talk to you at 6 o'clock. Thank you. Earlier this morning, outside the Capitol, members of the Westboro Baptist Church showed up, but they were met with fierce counter-protesters from the LGBTQ+ community.
Members of the LGBTQ+ community showed up in droves to counter-protest the members of the Westboro Baptist Church, who only had about 7 people. Those in the community of LGBTQ+ wanted to show that they are stronger together.
It felt really good because I know that we are stronger than the hate we receive, and it's very telling that we have so many numbers and that they don't, because we are stronger together.
It really speaks to the fact that, as a city, we're able to come together here and tell, people from Kansas don't want to come up and start trouble. This is our streets, not theirs.
The Westboro Baptists left about 45 minutes after protesting. For the first time since the primary results, the two candidates in the race for Lincoln's mayor met face-to-face.
They met at a forum that was sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce, and Channel 8's Veronica Barreto was there. She joins us now with more on how things went. Veronica.
Both candidates discussed their priorities for the city, like making Lincoln grow, attracting people to the city, and investing in infrastructure. They both say they will work to bring more young professionals to Lincoln. Suzanne Geist says the city needs more affordable housing in order to have more people come. Lyrian Gaylor Baird says the city needs to be an inclusive place that welcomes new people.
I'm excited to serve the citizens of Lincoln. The business community is behind me, developers, builders. People see that we need a more affordable place to live.
If we want to create career pathways that fuel our workforce and that grow our city, we have to be welcoming and inclusive. We can't have the priorities that she has. Those will hurt our community and stifle growth.
The general election for Lincoln's mayor is set for May 2nd. Both candidates say from now on, time is crucial to get people to vote. Coming up at 6 o'clock, I'll have more on other priorities the candidates talked about, as well as their support for a new convention center in Lincoln.
All right, Veronica, thank you so much. Should the main post office in downtown Lincoln be moved? That's the goal for Congressman Mike Flood.
This community, the community I represent in the United States House of Representatives, we want to have a conversation about finding a better location so that we can continue to make this the premier entertainment district in the state of Nebraska.
Flood says he reached out to the post office in July of last year to ask if they would consider moving out of their current location on R Street, right next to Pinnacle Bank Arena, and move somewhere else in the city. He said their response was a flat-out no. The thought is if they move, that space could be used to enhance the entertainment district of the Haymarket. Flood says he was supposed to have a meeting with the Lincoln postmaster this morning, but was told due to a scheduling conflict, the meeting was canceled and wouldn't be able to be rescheduled for months.
The city of Lincoln and the people here can't wait. Can we not just have a conversation about what's happening? Can we not just visit about what this could be? I am the federal representative in the United States House of Representatives overseeing agencies like the U.S. Postal Service. I do not want any more delays. I don't want to be put off anymore. I want to have a meeting with the postmaster to discuss what we can do to find a better location for this facility and grow this capital city.
Flood says he knows this would be a lengthy process, but he just wants to get the conversation started to see what is possible. We did reach out to Lincoln's Postmaster General for comment, but we did not receive a reply.
Let's talk about your weather now. Another summer-like day today, Rusty.
Yeah, lots of record highs out there today. We did tie the record high so far. We may have beat it. We'll see when the official numbers come out, but we did get to 89 degrees, which ties the old record set back in 1936. We do have some thunderstorms popping up in western Nebraska. Some of those could get eventually strong to maybe even severe. You can see a bolt of lightning showing up there just south of Valentine and near North Platte. So they're starting to increase in strength a little bit, but there's a lot of dry air out there, so it's going to be tough for these things to continue to get going. But we'll see. Temperatures, though, look at that, 80s everywhere you look and even a few 90s. Schoen's Roofing at 6th Street and Perkins in Beatrice is all kinds of sunny and warm. 85 degrees in Beatrice, Hebron at 85, Sutton at 86 degrees, 89 in Grand Island, 88 in Holdridge, 91 in McCook, 90 in North Platte, but that cold front just off to the north and west is sparking those thunderstorms in western Nebraska. As we head through tonight, the sun sets at 8:04 p.m. this evening. So before that, 85 degrees with that south wind shaking the camera around at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Plenty of sunshine as we head towards sunset, 78 degrees with mostly sunny skies and eventually becoming partly cloudy as we head into the evening hours. That south wind continues but should diminish as we head through the overnight, temperatures dropping into the lower 70s by 10 o'clock tonight. We are going to see much cooler air start to move in and some strong storm potentials as we head through tomorrow. More on that in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Rusty. Several rural fire departments battled strong winds yesterday while trying to put out a grass fire just north of Lincoln.
The Raymond, Waverly, Malcolm, Valparaiso, and Ceresco fire crews worked together to get the fire under control quickly. As the blaze was trying to jump across a road, creeping closer to a neighboring residence. Crews were able to keep it under control, with the Raymond department calling it, quote, strong work. In crime news, local authorities say they made a big drug bust, finding nearly 400 pounds of marijuana.
40-year-old Michael Forrester of California was arrested. Lancaster County deputies say they pulled him over during a traffic stop yesterday near Highway 77 and Rosa Parks Way. They say they could smell marijuana, and a search came up with 383 pounds of pot, 17 pounds of THC wax and powder, and a fully loaded handgun.
Forrester was lodged at the Lancaster County Corrections for possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, evading the drug tax, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. And this is the second arrest we've made with a large amount like that within a week. As you remember last week, I think it was the 7th, we arrested a guy with 500 pounds.
And Captain Trotter said Forrester was pulled over for driving on the shoulder of the road.
In Hall County, an arrest was made in a deadly crash from last week. Gary Williams faces motor vehicle homicide and DUI. Officials say Williams was traveling east on White Cloud Road and failed to stop at a stop sign. They say he then crossed Highway 281 and hit a vehicle. The front seat passenger in that vehicle, 59-year-old Darren Findley, died on the scene. The Lancaster County Sheriff's Office participated in the national campaign You Text, You Drive, You Pay last week.
That's right. It was directed at reducing the number of crashes that are caused by distracted drivers. Deputies that were involved pulled over 173 vehicles. 3 people were arrested on outstanding warrants. 110 traffic tickets were issued and nearly 150 warnings were given. All right, other news now. Scammers have yet another way to target communities with phone spoofing. Various agencies are being impersonated.
It's through a look-alike phone number to scam victims out of money and information. Spoofing or hoaxing callers, it isn't a new scam, but it has resurfaced more over the last 5 years. The scam also isn't targeting specific age groups, and anyone could fall victim. One federal agent recommends always looking up official numbers and warning susceptible targets.
Talk to someone you trust, describe to them what's going on, report the incident to local law enforcement first, submit a fraud complaint with the Federal Trade Commission, and then members of the public again can contact the HSI tip line at 1-866-DHS-2423.
For more details on how to report spoof callers or tips on how to avoid the scams, visit our website, klkntv.com. Lincoln Transportation and Utilities is hosting an open house right now at Southwood Lutheran Church from 5 to 7 p.m.
They're going to be reviewing construction plans for widening South 40th Street between Yankee Hill and Rokeby Roads. It's projected to cost around $16 million with funding coming from various sources. Construction at the 40th Street and Rokeby Road intersection is expected to start sometime this spring. And coming up next, for now, a ban on an abortion pill has been frozen because of a circuit court.
But new restrictions will now be put into place. We'll have that story after the break.
I'm always looking for ways to give
The Fifth Circuit Appeals Court answered the plea of the Biden administration, stepping in at the last second and freezing the ban on mifepristone that would have gone into effect Friday night.
But new restrictions will be put into place. For now, the pill can only be used up to 7 weeks of pregnancy instead of 10, and physicians must monitor patients over at least 3 office visits, reporting any adverse side effects.
20 years ago, when the FDA approved the abortion pill, they bypassed regular procedure. And frankly, over the last 20 years, women have suffered as a result, and some have died. The FDA actually changed their policy that physicians were no longer required to report health outcomes that didn't involve death.
We have 20 years of data supporting how safe this medication is. Over 5 million people have used this medication since it was approved in the U.S.
The appeals court ruling is expected to take effect on Saturday. Meanwhile, the Justice Department announcing it will seek an emergency motion from the U.S. Supreme Court. Just a few hours ago, an arrest was made in the investigation into a leak of classified documents from the Pentagon.
Officials say a National Guardsman leaked the documents in a private Discord group chat.
Today, the Justice Department arrested Jack Douglas Teixeira in connection with an investigation into alleged unauthorized removal, retention, and transmission of classified national defense information.
This comes after the Washington Post did an anonymous interview with one of the members of the Discord group, who says Teixeira was the leader of the group and began posting the documents last fall.
First found out that these were made public. It felt like my heart was beating out of its chest. I could not believe that this was happening. We didn't realize the sheer just immense nature of these leaks. The documents were often listed as Ukraine versus Russia at first. However, it slowly spiraled into just intelligence about everything.
He also says Teixeira is not anti-U.S. but does think there are instances of government overreach. The Post reports it's unlikely Teixeira meant for the information to be spread beyond the chat.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
Another warm day, another summer-like day. Temperatures in the 80s and 90s for a lot of us. 90 in Norfolk, 89 in Lincoln, Grand Island at 89, 94 in North Platte. But obviously some colder air is starting to push in from the north and west. That's going to do a couple of different things. It's going to give us a chance for storms tonight as well as tomorrow. Now, record highs, these are unofficial so far. We still have a little bit of heating of the day left, but so far, North Platte, a new record high of 94, breaking the old one of 88. McCook tied their record high, 91 in Broken Bow, a new one there. Norfolk at 90, tying that one. Imperial at 90 degrees, also a new record high there, and tied the record high in Lincoln, which was set back in 1936. That was a long time ago. Mostly sunny skies out there right now. I did notice that not as much haze and smoke today as there has been lately, so a little bit of good news there on the Southeast Community College camp. It's still very warm, 85 in Friend and Beatrice, 87 in Lincoln, 88 in Columbus, near 90 in Grand Island, 89 degrees. South wind, though, this is the main reason at 20 to 30 miles per hour, even sustained at 36 miles per hour in Broken Bow, 26 in Grand Island, 29 in Lincoln. The wind gusts are way up there, almost 50 miles per hour in Broken Bow, 39 in Lincoln, 37 mile per hour wind gusts in Nebraska City, Omaha at 47 miles per hour. The good news is that's about to end. The wind will start to diminish as we head through the day tomorrow. It's still going to be out there, just not as gusty as it has been the last couple of days. Scattered showers and thunderstorms out there for western half of the state. These could get a little on the severe side with some gusty wind, maybe some hail. They're having a hard time holding together. So much dry air, there's a cap. A lot of things are against this potential for storms, but they're trying. They're really trying. So Stormcast does have isolated thunderstorms every now and then, just a little bit of a line here by 7:30 towards Cherry County. That tries to continue, and it makes its way down south as we head through the evening. I think once the heating of the day is gone, that'll probably be it. So there is a marginal risk for about the western half of the state, North Platte kind of in the middle of all of that for tonight. Now tomorrow, cold air ushers in, and look at that, a chance for snow in the western half of the state. And then tomorrow night, this is 6 o'clock in the evening. Notice this little line right here? That's the cold front. That's going to be sweeping through. It'll run into some warm, moist air, kind of, barely. But it is enough that if the storms get going like these models say they're going to, large hail is going to be a possibility and some gusty wind. That moves through. Low-level jet kicks in. More storms possible as we head through the overnight. I think these would be less severe, but still a strong wind gust possible as we head through Saturday, very early Saturday morning, and then quieting down and cooling off for the weekend. But a slight risk in place from Grand Island, Lincoln south for the afternoon and evening on Friday, something we will be watching very closely. Middle and upper 50s for lows tonight, 58 degrees, mostly clear. Those storms to the west, south wind at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow, middle and upper 70s and lower and middle 80s. Warmer here, but notice that cold front just off to the north and west. That will sweep through in the afternoon, giving us that PM storm chance. So we'll increase the clouds, still 81 degrees, well above average, just not quite as warm as we have been. And then 52 on Saturday. That's going to feel really cold after all of the heat that we've had the last couple of days. 64 on Sunday, 74 on Monday. So we do warm back up, and I think a couple of 80s will be possible Tuesday and Wednesday of next week before the next chance for showers and thunderstorms rolls through by the middle of next week.
All right, Rusty, thank you very much. A positive day on Wall Street today. The Dow gaining 383 points. NASDAQ is up as well, 237. S&P adding 54. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
Tonight, countdown to the abortion.
Finally tonight, there's a new discovery in Mexico, what officials believe to be a scoreboard from the ancient Mayan civilization. Researchers think it was used in a game called pelota, similar to soccer.
Archaeologists unearthed it at the famous Chichen Itza site in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. The circular stone piece is about 12.5 inches in diameter and weighs 88 pounds. It's carved with hieroglyphic writing and shows two players wearing headdresses standing next to a ball.
Pretty cool. Oh, jinx.
Jinx.
Let's get a final check of the weather, Rusty.
Very windy, very warm out there. That will change over the coming days, but look at that camera just shaking around. Goodness sakes, the flag's barely hanging on. That's a lot of wind out there, lots of sunshine, but boy, we need some rain because there's probably a lot of dust floating around in that wind as well. But 87 in Lincoln, 84 in Beatrice, Columbus here at 88. One of the warmer ones on there. Norfolk at 90, 84 degrees in York, and 86 degrees in Aurora. So very warm out there. We've got plenty of sunshine for the eastern half of the state. Showers and maybe some thunderstorms popping up in the western half of the state. Some of these, if they can hang on, might be severe with some gusty wind, maybe some marginally severe hail, maybe an inch in diameter. That would be about it. But keeping a close eye on those. But much of the state, the eastern half of the state, will continue to be dry tonight. But the best chance for severe weather, and it's just a small chance, marginal, would be from about west of Broken Bow, south of Valentine, in and around the North Platte area. So that's something we'll keep a close eye on. For your forecast for tonight, 81 on Friday, 52 on Saturday, then we warm back up. That's normal on Sunday, 64 degrees with plenty of sunshine. But that severe weather threat is out there this evening and Friday. We'll keep an eye on it.
All right, thank you, Rusty, and thank you for joining us.
We'll see you right back here at 6 o'clock. Have a great night.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather,